All right, everybody, welcome back to the #1 television program in the history of the entire universe. I am Brian Lee Durfee, author of The Forgetting Moon, The Blackest Heart, and The Lonesome Crown. All three books published by Simon & Schuster's Saga Press. Today, I'm going to be reviewing The Warrior's Path by Louis L'Amour. This is book number 3 in his epic Sackett family saga that spans some 400 years. I've got the entire series right here. I think there's 19 books. I've reviewed the first 2 books already in the series. Sackett's Land, which starts out in Europe, and then to the far blue mountains, which takes us from Europe to, the Carolina Mountains. And now we've got book number 3, and we're still in about the 1600s with this. The rest of the series follows this family all the way up through the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, into the expansion into the Old West, and so on. It's kind of like John Jake's Bastard series, if you remember that one. Anyway, let's talk about the covers first, because I love graphic design and cover illustrations, so let's get there. So this is the cover of the book we're reviewing. As you can tell, it matches the in theme and tone, and then all the spines look good together on there's a nice looking set of books here. Put those there. Anyway, the cover art was done by an artist, Greg Manches. He did all the cover art for these. This book came out in 1980. I will tell you that the Sackett saga was not written in chronological order. It was written like just all over the place. So this is one of the later books that he wrote in the saga, even though it fits at number 3 in the series overall. Okay, so as I mentioned, this starts in the 1600s. 1630 to be exact. Our characters are in Boston. They're 2 brothers, Kin and Yance Sackett. They're up from their home in New Orleans. They're up in Boston. They're dealing with Massachusetts, Narragansett, these Indian tribes. The Pequot, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I don't even know how to spell it. It's the P. Let me see if it's on here. It's not. It's not on the back. I won't even pronounce it. There's another Indian tribe they're dealing with. When they get to Boston, they find out that there's been a kidnapping. 2 women have been kidnapped by some sort of powerful men. The book really gets into the slave trade that went bad. I mean, this is the 1630s. This is when there were pirates, cutthroats, slavers, ruthless businessmen, people sailing to and from the West Indies, East India Trading Company, just a lot of stuff going on out at sea. And so these 2 women have been kidnapped by slavers. And one of the things that Louis L'Amour does really well is he describes the slave trade as basically, if you lived on the planet back in the 1600s, you were subject to maybe becoming a slave to somebody. It doesn't matter where you were from, Africa, India, America, any part of Europe, Russia. You were just, people were just enslaving. And he goes into depth about this and how these 2 women are kidnapped and they're going to be into the slave trade, and how Kin and Yance Sackett have to now venture forth and rescue these people, rescue the women, rescue the people from the slave trade. That's the gist of the plot. There's not much else to the plot. They just go on an adventure to get these, and they end up in the West Indies, and you can see the cover is very pirate-like. There's a lot of pirate stuff going on that cover, which is cool, And I like these covers because book number 1, has an old stone castle because the story of the Sacketts start out in Europe. Book number 2 has an archer on a hill, which could remind us a little bit of Robin Hood, or maybe he's in the Carolina Mountains. And then book number 3 is Pirates of the Caribbean. And then Book number 4 is Jubal Sackett, the most popular book in the series, which is kind of a Daniel Boone, Last of the Mohicans-esque story. And but they all look pretty cool. I've read them all before. We're rereading them for the channel. But Warrior's Path, book number 3, I give it a solid 8 out of 10 stars.